Good morning. And it is the fifth day, and it could be afternoon. It's the fifth day of January 2019 from the start of the recording of this video, 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time. And Litecoin continues its acceleration towards the upside as it broke this level of resistance at 9:45 a.m. at around the 90 handle up to about the 93. And just still, the live move is in place. It's already had a good leg, or a noticeable leg above this resistance. Was there any short-term resistance here? Well, let's take a look. This is a Poloniex exchange, so I'm going to actually look at this on a deeper one, or a much larger one. And I did sell some Litecoin. I did so for Bitcoin, XBY, and I think it's Bitcoin Green. It's BITG as a ticker symbol, and that's on the Litecoin exchange on Cryptopia. Through the night, I sold some Litecoin for that of Dash and ETN. ETN, another coin exclusive to Cryptopia or not available on other exchanges. And that's what I want to do. Buy low, sell high. Thus, when Litecoin goes up, I'm going to be selling it for other currencies or other cryptos. Now, on the Binance exchange, I'm just curious to see on the shortest of term, I'm going to go right to the 1. How much, actually I'll go to the 5 first. How much resistance was in at this 85.5 mark? It was support. It was support. Very good support at that. Didn't resist it. Not much at all. Resisted it here. And then, of course, this level of resistance, it obviously got by pretty good. Let's take a look at this one on the 1. Yeah, it got through it just nice and fine. Alright, so that's Litecoin in a nice live move to the upside. How far it's going to go up. To me, that's anybody's game. It could start going back down at any time, and of course, the importance is always going to be, well, to hold this area where it came from in this line area, even as deep into like 812. That's, I would really, really want to see it hold that area, especially because I got a decent amount of Litecoin, and therefore. If I can get some support there, if it goes down. But like again, this is live. Could we go up to this resistance near the 100 number? Sure. And on the weekly chart, that would have been a nice buy. I guess I should go back to Poloniex for such. When we talk about large upside potential, I mean, it's just getting above the 18 average of highs right now. The last time it did that after having extended periods below the 18 was here. We also had it here. Any times before then. Here. That's it on the weekly. So this is the 4th time since this started, or going back to 2015. Almost 4 years. This is the 4th time that Litecoin has attempted to get above the 18 average of highs after extended down move. Let's now move on to an exciting chart in AID, and we can see that a lot happened here as this thing, no, we're not going to count that. Let's go to the daily. Okay, better. It's breaking out above the 18 highs. It was up to, at the high is where I calculated where my portfolio would stand at this point, but I got into this after I seen this move. I'm looking back at some of these other periods, looking back at late August into September. It's down, and I was thinking, how do I not buy this and start to play this within the buy low, sell high strategy? So I entered in at this on December the 10th at 635. Would have been my buy price. 635 in here. But we can see that it had a really quick move to this high. The question is, did I sell up here? Yeah, I did. And then I was able to buy it back. But I'll move this to a single hour time frame and go back to the event. And it all started with this buy at 635, and it didn't go low enough for me to add more to the position. My sell order, the first one was right basically where it's at now, 732 is where I ended up selling that, and I bought back at 640 the next day. So 640 would have came in right in here. I then followed that up with a cheesy sale. What do I mean by cheesy sale? Well, I sold this high at 685. Don't remember why. Maybe there was something within the buy or the sell order block that I seen. It worked out to be the correct play. My next buy order was hit. It came in at 607. And where did the 607 hit? Wasn't there. Okay, 607 would have been the next buy order hitting, and it took some time to get there. And my next order again would end up being that of a buy. I dug deep with a buy order at 511 as the next play. And as the market was retracing, we can see that 511 was in fact an area in which it found support, and where I was a little bit of I was a buyer. And I use the base amount so that this aid after every buy or sell trade is always worth the same amount of Bitcoin every time. So the amount that I buy or sell is relevant based on the price. The deeper that I buy or sell, the more that I end up buying or selling, as the previous example in here, where I ended up well, this trade up here, the small one, I didn't sell as many because it was just a small move going from 630 up to 680. That was like a 9% move, so I couldn't sell as much within such. I would hit two sell orders in a row, 580 and 723. And therefore, let's move it over to then. And that was then, just two plays. So I sold, and this was a case of not looking at my portfolio. Had I done so, then I would have most likely and definitely increased it. I obviously missed this order, and that's what I mean by not checking. Because obviously it came back down, and when I barely miss a buy or a sell, I feel the best play is to do one of two things. Either one, to lower it down below it, the previous, or much higher. Now, had I done it much higher, it would have been probably around 600 or so, maybe a little above around 613. Now, had I sold at 613, would I have sold at 740 or 750? I don't know. But as it goes on a mathematical level, I'm technically selling at 580, and at 723 is a measure of the mathematical sell high, buy low, albeit I probably could have done a better job on this particular trade. The next play would be a buy order, because oftentimes when these markets go up like that, they're going to go back down again. My buy order was put in at 553, and 553 we could see hit this period here, this low. It hit on this low, and this was, again, I would look at the buy order build around 552 or 551, 550. There were some pretty decent sized buy orders, so that's why I decided to place a buy order here. And I could have got cheaper. I could went down to 510. You know what? So be it. And then the market shops around as we move into 2019, missing out on some sales. Well, until this happens. As my sell order, I like where it was, 655. Yeah, it was much higher where it could have been, but it was a decent sized break of this level of resistance. This high is in at 734. My sell order is higher than such. It's actually relatively high. I'm going for a very large play on this. If the market settles down rather, and settling down means it obviously doesn't hit my buy order, and it just stays in this little bit of a range, I'd probably reduce it a little bit because it's still decently above the 734 high, or at least reevaluate how it's played. The order is based on two mathematical principles. One being, how much of a gain am I going to get? The higher the better. I want to get the most realistic as possible. And number two, the mathematical amount of coins that are offered for sale, thus the sell orders, any type of wall blocks as they call it. Where do people have some big orders and going right before those key points? And as the trading portfolio, the yellow or the orange line represents had I bought at that exact same time and done nothing. And this is at the price point of the high. So period 11 is not a trade, but every single one after that was. So there's the first sale, buyback, sale, two buys, two sales, a buy, a sale, and then where the price was at the high. And within this, when we see just in here on the first sale right there on period number 4, barely beating it. And as we're leaving period 9, the blue line is accelerating much nicely above the orange one, which is just doing nothing. So the buy low, sell high strategy at that point has me up 25% thus far on my aid trade. Whereas just if I would have bought and done nothing, it would be up about under 15%. Let's cross over next to Status, SNT. And I always think of Saturday Night Live just because it's SNL's SNT. It sounds about the same. And I don't know where my sell order is offhand. I could search. I'm going to let the market just put the order in when it's ready to execute. It hasn't traded as of yet. I did buy this recently, so I should be selling this soon. But I'm not selling this against Bitcoin. Rather, against Ethereum. And as Ethereum was going up during this run a couple days ago, and 75 to 80% of my crosses, not counting Steam, ended up buying, because I'm waiting to buy Steam. It hasn't come through yet. But Status, I did buy, so I'm hoping soon I get a sell order. I like that daily time frame on the single hour. This thing is just starting to pump up, or 15-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame, just doing its fun volatility. It might be the end of the run. It might not be. This thing could get going for another leg higher. That's the thing about these markets. You have a decent sized leg. It could very easily top. On the daily time frame, you can come back down. And that's what I want to see, is it hold this general area. This is a test of previous high. This has already done it. This is a pierce below. It could go up a bit more and have an exact hit. It could go up a bit higher than that and have a pierce extra. I can also make a case on how this looks a lot like an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder in here now completing it. Where would the neckline be? It's a range of resistance highs. For it started off having resistance on this date of November the 22nd in here. Tough to count that one because it hasn't tested it since that much. This might be the best neckline. It's got 2 hits, this one, and now it's hitting this at the number for the 3rd. And then we can look down, and then there's this general area in here, which was the level of this resistance on December the 30th that it's getting above now. That's an interesting level as well. So let me just remove some of that drawing, put that line back in that spot, a little higher. See how this looked on the current 1-minute term. And like this is technical analysis to a T. We have a spot in here where you have resistance, resistance. Then it resists it and stays there for 2 periods, and then in 1 minute, at the time frame of 10:53 a.m. Eastern time, it does its big move. It has a bit of follow through, a little bit of selling, a little bit of buying, a little more selling, thus a double top on the very short term time frame. All of these people that have been trading in these levels in here are very short-term traders, because all of the bids that people have sold this down to, both at 10:59 a.m. Eastern and 11:03, were newly placed orders, because these are bids placed in at 512 and higher, which is obviously orders placed after 10:53 for this run, and then orders placed after 11:01 on this run. So they're short-term orders that are coming into play. This gives time for order books to fill up in here, which I think is very, very important. And if you become aware, and I'm not going to check, but one of the things that you would look for is how aggressive the buy orders fill. If you see situations where the buy orders become large in here, and they can oftentimes do so during these rallies, then that usually means the big game players are looking to buy. And they don't want to spend they want to buy for as little as possible. So as they first pump this up, and they're probably the same people that put the buy orders in, that would put the big buy orders here, that bought it up in the first place, that they are looking to get the best dollar or Bitcoin cost average that they can. And then when you see that come into place, then that's their objectivity. Therefore, they could very easily get hit. Big players see that. They're like, oh, I can sell. I'm a big game. If they're a big game player, oh, there's a big buy order. Maybe there's 10 Bitcoin, depending on its volatility. There's an X amount of Bitcoin in here that's pretty big, and they might sell it down. And oftentimes that's where you could end up getting failed breakouts, fast moves. But if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't matter if people sell here or not. These big buyers are going to be buying. Now, one of the charts I see that happen most with, because I do follow its order book exclusively, is XBY. And I've seen that happen so many times when they have these rallies, that they have the first little pump come in, then you see the buy orders just flock in very nicely, and then within the next many hours or even days, the market just has more legs higher, because of course those are the buyers that are within that market. So therefore, status is looking nice. And yeah, let's see if there's anything else, because it's been 17 minutes. It's already long. I definitely could do another 4 or 5 if there's something worth talking about. And we'll do one final one that's not looking so good, but I like this crossing. And just like I'm buying this low, selling this high strategy. Did I sell up here? Yeah. Have I been buying on the way down already? Yes. And I see that it might go lower. What am I going to do if it goes lower? Nothing. I've already put my buy and sell orders in. But if I see a buy order comes in, then I'll do something. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this video, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.